Hey, my family, I'm David, and I am really glad you are here with me tonight because this is one of those moments where clarity matters just as much as the money itself. We are talking about a midnight Social Security Administration alert, Social Security deposits, and whether payments are starting right now or why some people are seeing activity while others are still waiting. And let me tell you why this matters immediately. For many of you, this monthly deposit is not extra money. It is rent money. It is grocery money. It is medication money. It is peace of mind. And when timing feels unclear, especially late at night, anxiety creeps in fast. So tonight, I am going to slow everything down. I am going to walk you through what is actually happening. I promise you this. By the end of this discussion, the confusion will be gone. This is for retirees, Social Security beneficiaries, supplemental security income, Social Security disability insurance, widows and widowers, Veterans Affairs recipients, disabled Americans, and the caregivers who help hold everything together. I read Social Security Administration guidance, Treasury processing rules, and payment calendars so you do not have to. That is my job here. Now, very important before we go any further, if you have not already, please take a second and subscribe to the channel Stimulus Wealth that you're watching right now. These updates change quickly and staying connected helps you stay protected. And while you are here, drop a comment and tell me your city and state. I read those comments and it helps me understand what different parts of the country are seeing in real time. And friends, please do not click away because the middle part of this discussion is the most important part, especially if you are feeling worried or confused right now. Let me give you clarity right up front. Here is what we are going to cover in the first few minutes. What is confirmed about Social Security deposits? Who is affected? What timing is normal? What is not confirmed? And what you should and should not do right now. Some people are seeing deposits. Some people are seeing pending activity. Some people are seeing nothing yet. It does not automatically mean something is wrong. I want to say this very clearly right now. Delays, timing differences, or missing posts are not your fault. This is about how the system works, not about anything you did or did not do. Friends, do not panic. We are going to walk through this together. So why is this happening right now? Why are so many people checking their bank accounts at midnight? Here is the calm, simple explanation. Social Security payments are released by the United States Treasury on a schedule, but they are posted by banks on a completely separate timeline. And right now, we are at a point in the month where a new payment cycle is starting. Some banks release funds early, other banks wait until business hours and weekends, holidays, and batch processing all play a role. This creates a perfect storm for confusion. You may hear a neighbor say, "I got paid at midnight," and you look at your account and see nothing. That does not mean Social Security Administration skipped you. Does not mean your payment is gone. It does not mean you need to panic. Call Social Security tonight. Emotionally, though, I understand exactly how it feels. When bills are due and groceries are running low, the medication refills are coming up. Waiting is stressful, and social media does not help. You will see posts saying things like everyone should be paid by now, or if you do not see it at midnight, something is wrong. Friends, that is not how the system actually works. I have seen the Treasury, Medicare, and even Veterans Affairs payments all move through layers, and those layers do not always line up perfectly. Now let us separate policy from reality. On paper, Social Security has a payment schedule. It is clear, it is organized, it is predictable. But in real life, payments move through Treasury release systems, federal payment batches, bank processing windows, internal posting rules, and sometimes weekend or overnight holds. Social Security Administration can release the funds on time, and your bank can still post them later. It is not a mistake. That is how the system is built. This is especially true overnight. Midnight deposits are bank decisions, not Social Security Administration decisions. Some banks like to post early to give customers access sooner. Other banks wait until the next business day to finalize processing. Neither one means your payment is late. And here is something very important. Social Security Administration does not have a button they can press to force your bank to post money faster. That is one of the biggest misunderstandings I see. Let me pause here and reinforce something important. What I am sharing with you tonight is not opinion, it is not guesswork, and it is not based on rumors. This comes from understanding how Social Security Administration, the Treasury, Medicare deductions, and banking systems actually interact. When you understand the system, fear loses its grip. And my role here, my responsibility to you, is to translate a complicated system into plain English so you can breathe again. You are not behind, you are not forgotten, and you are not doing anything wrong. Let me gently orient you, especially if you joined a few minutes late. Here is where we are. We have talked about why people are seeing midnight activity. We have explained why some accounts show deposits and others do not yet. We have separated Social Security Administration rules from bank behavior. Coming up next, we are going to do a deep technical breakdown. I will explain exactly how payment timing works, who gets paid when, and why two people on the same benefit can see money at different times. You have not missed anything important. The most helpful part is still ahead, friends. Do not panic. We are going to walk through this together. Now, let us slow this down and really understand the mechanics. Social Security payments follow a calendar logic for retirement and Social Security disability insurance beneficiaries. Payment dates are usually based on your birth date, whether you started benefits before or after 1997, and the type of benefit you receive. Supplemental Security income payments follow a different schedule entirely. And here is where midnight confusion often starts. Social Security Administration releases payments in batches, usually 1 to 2 business days before the official payment date. The Treasury sends the payment file. Banks receive it, and then each bank decides when to post it to customer accounts. Some banks post immediately. Some banks hold it until their next processing window. Some post overnight. Some wait until morning. This is why you will see pending deposits available, balances changing, or nothing at all until later in the day. None of that automatically signals a problem, and Medicare premiums, overpayment recoveries, or withholding elections can also affect what you see posted. We will talk about those details next. Now, friends, let us continue breaking this down carefully because this is where understanding replaces anxiety. First, let us talk about who gets paid when because not everyone is on the same schedule. If you started receiving Social Security before May of 1997, your payment date is usually the 3rd of the month. If you receive Supplemental Security income, that payment normally comes on the 1st of the month, unless that date falls on a weekend or federal holiday. If you receive retirement or Social Security disability insurance benefits and started after 1997, your payment date is based on your birth date. Birthdays on the 1st through the 10th paid the 2nd Wednesday. Birthdays on the 11th through the 20th paid the 3rd Wednesday. Birthdays on the 21st through the 31st paid the 4th Wednesday. That is the policy. But here's the reality. Social Security Administration releases the money, the United States Treasury transmits it, and then the banks take over. This is where early deposits happen. Some banks release funds as soon as they receive the Treasury file. Other banks wait until their internal system completes verification. That is why one person might see money at midnight, while another sees it at 9 in the morning or even later in the day. Friends, this is normal system behavior. I want to say this again clearly. Social Security Administration release time does not equal bank posting time. Now let us talk briefly about cost of living adjustments interactions. Cost of living adjustments are applied automatically. You do not need to request them. But Medicare Part B premiums or Medicare Advantage adjustments or past due balances can be deducted before funds reach your account. So if the deposit amount looks slightly different, that does not always mean something is wrong. It means the system applied required adjustments before release. Now let us talk about groups that often experience extra confusion. First, widows and widowers. Survivor benefits follow Social Security rules, but the payment timing still depends on the original record and banking behavior. Second, disabled adult children or DAC beneficiaries. These payments are tied to a parent's work record, which can create different processing sequences at the bank level. Third, Supplemental Security income couples. When two people receive Supplemental Security income together, payment processing can sometimes appear delayed because it is handled as a combined record. Fourth, dual beneficiaries. People who receive Supplemental Security income and Social Security disability insurance, these are two separate payments. They do not always arrive on the same day, and one can arrive while the other is still processing. Fifth, Veterans Affairs and Social Security overlap. Veterans Affairs benefits are processed through a separate system entirely. They do not control Social Security timing, and Social Security does not control Veterans Affairs timing. And finally, representative pays. When someone manages benefits for another person, banks sometimes apply additional verification steps. Again, none of this means you did something wrong. Friends, do not panic. We are going to walk through this together. To add more depth, let me explain how the Automated Clearinghouse Network functions. The Automated Clearinghouse is the system that handles electronic payments, including Social Security deposits. When the Treasury sends a payment file, it goes through the Federal Reserve, which acts as a clearinghouse. Banks then retrieve these files at different times. Some banks, especially larger ones, have multiple processing cycles throughout the day, while smaller banks might only process once a day. This is why timing varies so much. Additionally, if a payment is scheduled for a Monday, that is a holiday, the release might happen on the previous Friday, but banks may not post until Tuesday. This kind of shift can cause confusion, but it is standard procedure. Also, remember that direct deposit is now the default for Social Security payments. Paper checks are largely phased out, and this electronic system is generally faster and more secure. However, it relies on banks to post the funds promptly. If you are still receiving paper checks, mailing delays can occur, but that is a separate issue from midnight deposit concerns. Another point to consider is the importance of keeping your bank information updated with the Social Security Administration. If you have recently changed accounts, there might be a delay while the new information is verified. This can take up to 2 payment cycles. So it is crucial to update your details well in advance. Also, ensure that your name on the bank account matches exactly with the name on your Social Security records. Discrepancies can cause holds or returns, which delay payments. If you have a joint account, both names should be consistent with Social Security records to avoid issues. It is also wise to set up account alerts with your bank so you are notified as soon as a deposit hits. This can reduce the need to constantly check your balance and provide peace of mind. Additionally, consider using the My Social Security online portal to view your payment history and confirm scheduled payments. This portal is updated regularly and can provide verification that a payment was sent. If you do not have online access, you can create an account on the Social Security Administration website. It is secure and free. Moreover, if you have a representative payee, they should have access to this information as well. Communication with your pay is key to avoiding misunderstandings about payment timing and amounts. Now let us gently clear up some rumors. You may hear Social Security Administration is holding payments. That is not confirmed. You may hear if it is not there at midnight, it is gone. That is false. You may hear only certain states are getting paid. That is not how Social Security Administration works. Social Security Administration does not play favorites. They follow national systems and federal processing rules. Social media tends to amplify fear because fear spreads faster than facts. My job here is to replace fear with understanding. Let us talk banking in plain English. The Treasury releases funds. Banks receive the file and banks decide when to post. Some banks show deposits as pending. Some show nothing until funds are available. Weekends and holidays slow everything down because banks run fewer processing cycles. That is why neighbors can get paid before you, even on the same benefit. And here is a key truth. Social Security Administration cannot override your bank's posting rules. Calling Social Security Administration at midnight will not make your bank move faster. Now let us talk about what to do if your payment is truly missing. Social Security Administration follows a 3 business day rule. This means if your payment does not appear within 3 full business days after the scheduled date, then it is time to take action. Before calling Social Security Administration, gather your Social Security number, your bank routing and account number, your most recent benefit amount, and the date the payment was expected. When you call, stay calm. The representative's job is to help, not blame. Most delays are resolved quickly once reviewed. In some cases, delays can be due to administrative reviews, changes in eligibility, or system errors. If you are told to wait, ask for a reference number for your inquiry and follow up if needed. Remember, you have the right to clear communication and timely resolution. If you feel your issue is not being addressed, you can request to speak with a supervisor or contact your local Social Security office for in-person assistance. However, avoid visiting without an appointment as wait times can be long. Instead, use the online services or phone lines first. Friends, I want to slow down here. I know this is not just about numbers on a screen. It is about groceries, rent, electric bills, prescription refills, and the stress of inflation. It is also about dignity. You earned these benefits. They are not a favor and not charity. And you are not alone. This community is strong because we look out for each other. Here is a calm, practical checklist you can follow. Log into your My Social Security account. Verify your bank information. Review Social Security Administration Form 44 if your income has changed. Consider Form W4V for voluntary tax withholding. Check eligibility for qualified Medicare beneficiary, specified low-income Medicare beneficiary or other programs. Apply for extra help with prescriptions. Look into Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program and Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program. Review Medicare savings programs. Also, keep a personal record of your payment dates and amounts to track patterns and quickly identify discrepancies. And friends, a reminder, Social Security Administration will never threaten you by phone. They will never demand gift cards or wire transfers. If someone calls claiming to be from Social Security and asks for personal information or payment, it is a scam. Hang up and report it to the Social Security Administration Office of the Inspector General. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Scammers often target beneficiaries, so be vigilant. Never share your Social Security number or bank details over the phone unless you initiated the call to a verified number. Protecting your information is crucial to preventing fraud and ensuring your benefits remain secure. Looking ahead, here is the honest truth. Some changes are being discussed, some updates are possible, but nothing is guaranteed until it is officially confirmed. What happens next depends on Social Security Administration operations, Treasury processing, Medicare deductions, Veterans Affairs coordination, and yes, Congress. We will continue to monitor this closely and bring you updates as soon as they are verified. In the meantime, focus on what you can control. Stay informed through reliable sources. Maintain your records and connect with others who understand this journey. Sharing experiences can reduce isolation and build a support network. Remember, knowledge is power, and understanding the system empowers you to navigate it with confidence. Friends, thank you for spending this time with me. If this discussion helped you, please comment yes below. Tell me your state so I know where you are watching from, and type Social Security Administration if you want more updates like this. Please subscribe if you have not already, and share this discussion with someone who might be worried tonight. You matter. Your peace of mind matters, and understanding the system gives you back a sense of control. Take care of yourselves and remember, you have got